Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about what every beginner boxer should know, but not the conventional things that everybody talks about, like for a beginner boxer, like always keep your hands up, because there's other things that if you're a beginner boxer you should definitely know, and that a lot of people don't teach. And it isn't until you start boxing for even some things 2 years later that I figured out that are things that I wish I would have known a lot earlier. And so I'll start with the first one. I'll get right into it, which is keep your hands up all the time, right? That's what it is. That's what you hear all the time, people telling beginner boxers, and it is an important thing, okay? It is an important thing to get into a shell position and from very early on learn the shell. I'm not going to take away from that by any means, but kind of the whole caveat of the whole situation is you shouldn't just be shelled up the whole time. Being shelled up wastes energy. It creates like this tightness where you actually want to be loose, which I'm going to get on later. But it's like being just shelled up like this. If I was shelled up like this for and just set a timer for 10-20 minutes, like my muscles would be hurting. It would suck. So don't always keep your hands up, but you should learn at what proximity to your opponent you should have your hands up and what types of hand positions there are. So that's going to be one thing that you should learn early on, because you got to stay more relaxed. And I learned that in staying relaxed, actually, I bring my hands down a little bit, right? So, but obviously I'm not going to have my hands down when I'm in the pocket. So you have to learn the shell. That's something that is very important, and I'm not going to suggest that beginners don't learn. But the key aspect of the first thing is, no, don't always have your hands up. But you got to understand the range, and that's something that maybe beginner boxers don't quite understand, but it's something to keep in mind, okay? Especially when you get into sparring, which is going to be number 2, which is you got to start sparring pretty quickly. A lot of, imagine you're training to play hockey or football or a sport, but you do all of the drills and things, but you never actually play a game. Do you think you're going to get good? Imagine playing 1 year or 2 years, or training for hockey or baseball or whatever for 1 or 2 years, but you never actually played a game, right? No, you got to start playing games. You got to start getting in the ring and sparring. Now you're going to start with light sparring, which is essentially just like playing tag. So with jabs and hitting the body and things, you're not throwing full on punches. Okay? Not to say that it might not sting or might not hurt or you get hit in the nose or whatever, but you got to deal with it. And that's the thing. You have to actually learn how to work within rounds. I would do 3 2-minute rounds to kind of start, to see if you can at very least get to the end and not be gassed out, for one, and second of all, be able to be on the offense and defensive properly. Have a proper defense is going to be key, and whilst maintaining some degree of pressure on the other opponent. This is the thing that you got to learn early on. I wish I would have learned, because I got thrown kind of into the ring, but without actually proper theory on how to actually spar properly. I had to learn that myself, which I think might have been more beneficial to actually learn things yourself and figure out things yourself too, because it kind of sticks a little harder. But essentially, that's going to be it, which is going to be number 2, which is start sparring soon. Some boxing gyms might not want their beginners sparring, but I would at least with some gloves on with a friend or whatever, just at least do body shots. Just trying to touch the body, face shots, have a mouthpiece in, but you're not going to go hard. Sometimes people get a little carried away, they start light, but then it gets a bit more heavy. But it's going to be key to develop. The sooner you start sparring, you're better your boxing is going to be. Okay. So third is you gotta learn how to take a punch early on. I hate to say it, but doesn't mean that you're not getting knocked out, but you need to hit a punch, because the sooner you're able to take a punch, or at least not react, not flinch, right? Now when I started, I took a body shot and I literally dropped to the ground. I'm like, oh, holy shit, that sucked, right? or I got hit in the nose and I'm like, okay, no, time out, please. Right? Now I get one of those, it's like, okay, keep going. You just work through it. Right? And the sooner you're able to do that, the better boxer or fighter you're going to be, because you're not going to react to it as much. You're more conditioned to it. Now, it doesn't, like I said, some gyms might be a bit more aggressive than others, and I really don't like the hyper-aggressive gyms where they put, they put like a beginner and then just like start punching them hard. No. If anything, that's going to just demotivate the individual, and they won't want to come back. But and I think this goes hand in hand with sparring. You got to get in the ring sparring and be able to take a punch. Third is you got to learn the art of the jab. Okay, and I don't think a lot of people teach their beginners this early enough, which is there's going to be different types of jabs. Okay, there's going to be the standard jab. There's going to be slip jabs, which is really important. I don't think gyms teach their beginners that early enough how to slip jab properly, how to do body shot jabs while slipping, and as well upward jabs like a flicker jab. So learning all the different types of jabs is going to be key, because that's how you if you incorporate that into your sparring, you're going to be a lot better. The other thing with jabs is like feint jab to real jab, or throwaway jabs, or like half jab and then real jab type things. There's a whole bunch of things with the jab that you can do, because jab's like going to be one of the key punch in boxing. Fourth, I was gonna say don't telegraph punches, but I think that's something that people they actually do learn. But I'm gonna say it anyway. For a boxer, is that you don't want to give things away, and you want things to come from point A to point B. Point A being where your hand is positioned, to point B where it's going to be on their face or body. Now, the thing I will add to this, which they won't teach beginners, is when your hands are moving and not always on your shell, it's going to be a lot harder to predict, because there's a lot of movement already happening when one actually does come. So this is something I would recommend going to the heavy bag training or combo bag, is just be moving your hands, moving your body, and then throwing punches, instead of just being here throwing punches all the time. It's good to do that too, but like if you're moving and then all of a sudden a boom jab comes up, that's the types of things where you catch people off guard. So I guess this is, I don't know what number I'm at, I think 4, but I'll go with 5, is train your non-dominant hand hard, especially with the hooks, because that's going to be the deadly one, and your lead hook. And granted, you're doing orthodox, you're not southpaw right-handed. So say you're orthodox right-handed, your left hand's going to be ahead of you. That's what you're going to be jabbing with. That's what your lead hook is. Your lead hook's going to be the deadly one, because that's the quickest one, and it's going to be a powerful punch. It's a quick, powerful punch, but it's going to be with your non-dominant hand. So this is something I was actually taught by my coach, is you go to a combo bag. Okay, that's the one that's against the wall. It's like a pad that has it's a combo pad. Just look it up. Now, if you're right-handed, you'll like angle yourself slightly right to it, so you're like to the side of it, and then just there for like 3-minute rounds, just do nothing but hooks. Now you might go jab, jab, or like jab 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, but you're lined up to the side of it. Just throw hooks. Get your slip hook, get your body into it, pivot hook, and also do non-pivot hooks. Like that's the other thing. Like people say you should always be pivoting with that lead foot, but not necessarily. In fact, be more planted. Throwing that hook might be a lot better too. But maybe that's a bit more in the intermediate level. But for a beginner level, just stand slightly to the side of the combo bag, and then just like throw nothing but that left hand, because it's your non-dominant hand, hooks, and make it so it feels like it's dominant. Eventually you will. Like after like a few days of doing that, your lead hand won't feel like it's like your gimp hand or your like retard hand. It'll feel like it's actually one that you can actually use proper, because it's going to be one of the main ones. And even if you don't land that one, you got your proper power hand cocked and ready to go. And conversely, your power hand might throw something, and then your lead hand's going to go. But the key aspect is your lead hand is going to be super quick, and the other one is to learn how to throw really tight hooks with that lead hand, with your non-dominant hand. For example, one of my coaches, it's actually the brother of my coach, but he has coached me before too. He was a professional boxer, and I watched his matches, and he was so good at that. Like, he's a little guy, like he's like 140 something pounds or whatever. So, but he would throw lightning fast lead hooks, and when he connected and you connect to the side of the chin, it's game over. Like, and I got connected myself by his brother by one of those. It wasn't even a hard. It didn't even feel like it was hard. It didn't hurt at all. It was a lead hook because I threw a straight, and that's the thing. You counter when somebody straights. You can counter with the lead hook. So I threw a straight, like a 1-2, and then all of a sudden I was just like, bam! I didn't even know what the hell happened. Like, my legs were wobbly. I was like, discombobulated and such. It wasn't like it knocked me out, but it was like, again, it wasn't even a hard punch, but getting hit on the chin with that lead hook, bam! That one is going to be really, if you can master that, or at least get good at that early on as a beginner, it's going to be one that's going to translate to you being a good boxer pretty quick. So yeah, hit the combo bag with that lead hook. I guess there's so many things I could talk about, but again, it's things that are conventional. I want to focus on more unconventional, more things that people don't talk about. And normally people talk about footwork. Normally people talk about keep your head moving, right? All important things. Do cardio. Well, I guess that's what I should mention. But when it comes to cardio, jump rope is going to be the key thing. That's going to be good for footwork and cardio. So do like 3-minute rounds of jumping rope. But again, that's pretty conventional. But it's worth mentioning, though. I kind of wanted to talk about more unconventional things that people don't talk about that I think beginners should know. So I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Is there anything else? Leave in the comment section below. I'd be interested to hear what, if somebody who has a kind of a boxing background. I have 2 years, so I'm past the quote beginner stage. So this is what I'm saying that I wish I would have known, or if I was to tell myself what to back in the day, what I would know. So yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching. Peace.